Here it's a lovely spring afternoon in Tampa. Looks like today I finally understand how to download things I shoot on this thing and how to work with the software that actually the software that didn't come with it. That was nightmarish. Anyway, I've always wanted to give people a tour of my yard, hopefully with a soundtrack, and here's a new attempt. This area here, which hugs my kitchen wall, when I first bought this house 10 years ago, the only garden on the entire plot, this whole lot, was a little 10-foot square, 10 by 10, right outside the kitchen window. And so it's cool all these years later to see the evolution that's taken place. It's expanded way out from its original portions, now phasing into summer crops as the winter crops go to bloom, like this purple kozatai. The nasturtiums will be finishing up soon. Got a weed in here, and interestingly, some of those so-called weeds are actually a tropical tomato that loves the summers here. Its nickname is currant tomato, so I need to sort those out now that they're popping up in the heat. Plant around the yard and also put them in pots to sell. This area here, next to the air handler in my bedroom window, is my, it's a combination. It's a classroom, it's a yoga area. I've got tapestries on the ground that I find dumpster diving and put down new ones as they decay. And this is where me and my friends like to hang out during a potluck. The structure is a framework of rebar. I earned a couple years ago doing 100 pieces of rebar to do a consultation for a firm. And I've always liked rebar for training roses, but I've made the structure. This is a incredibly strong aluminum pipe that the Civic Association told me about where to scrounge one, like an old lamp post, and it's the main centerpiece for this structure, which I feel is totally hurricane proof. This dead stuff on here are summer tropical vines that die back in the winter. I'm getting ready to shut them off. And the purpose of this area, here, I'll sit down, is it's a nice place to hang out, for one. Nice view of the gardens. But in the summertime, this rebar structure is covered by vines, and this area is very cool and comfortable. And my main cooling source for the house is a box fan in my bedroom window that draws the air in and to cool the night, and the hot air exits through the ceiling in the laundry room at the opposite end of the house through the vents, and then each morning I close up the windows and doors and it stays cool. But in the wintertime, these things die back and allow a tremendous amount of sunshine to come in here, so it becomes nice and warm and cozy. Okay, let's go around here. This is Cali Row. This is a perennial I used to grow in Colorado that a couple years ago I missed and decided to try here, and it's now going into its third year, so it wasn't a fluke. Marcia Tatro wrote about this plant years ago when I was living in Colorado. Charming little thing. I think it's in the mallow family, and it's so cool to see one growing here in Tampa. This is some new growth for some of my roses I bred that are going nuts in the spring growth spurt. There's Laura Bush petunia that reseeds every year. There's my Waltham 29 broccoli. That's a transparent bird bath I made a number of years ago using two really heavy, I think there was sliding glass doors for a freezer or something, very heavy slabs. I could barely move them. I buried them in the ground and then stuck on top a plexiglass tray, which unfortunately has finally begun to leak and is now very cloudy. So I'm hoping to find a new transparent dish to put up there. In the center, a couple years ago, just for the heck of it, I stuck in this super heavy glass tabletop I found as an additional visual element in the base of it. I pretty much see it as a sculpture that happens to be a bird bath. Let's go out through my high-tech gate here. That's the fun thing about scrounging. You get a security frame, window frame from somebody. What are you going to do with it? And add a clothes hanger, and you got a gate that keeps chickens out of your garden. This is the main center garden, and in the middle is the pond where I grow the golden apple snails to eat. It's also a rose test bed. All these roses growing in here are roses that I bred here or in Colorado. This patch is mainly for the chickens. It's now bolting. This is a group of brassicas mostly. There's daikon, green wave mustard, arugula, bonar rape, and one other I'm forgetting. And then there is my Polygonum orientale that I used to grow in Denver that I've never been able to grow here, and this is the first time I've ever gotten it to grow. And it's a flashback to 1988, my first summer in Colorado, and my wonderful elderly neighbor Vi Stoughton gave me seeds of that plant. In Denver it reseeds to the point of being almost obnoxious, so it's so cool. It's growing, I think, only because I have it growing in a buried 5-gallon water-wise container garden. Let's do a quick tour. It's one of my hybrids and some pollinations I did on it. Hey, Mr. Rooster. Hey, big guy. You're the best rooster I know. Thank you for not crowing. Here's the quail pen, and the grapevines, the mystery grapevines, are becoming active and soon will give these quail wonderful shade. Hey, Mr. Rooster. That sound is the Japanese Coturnix quail. I have 8 of them living in this nice, large, spacious area. They make wonderful eggs. That's the boy. That's the sound that the boys make when they're horny. Here's the main hen house, covered by also by the mystery grape. The chickens go in at night, and I close the door. I take up Mr. Rooster, put him in a dog cage in the shed, cover that with the sheet, and close up the hen house, tie the gate with this power cord, because it turns out the raccoons are very crafty, and if I simply close the gate, they can get open, so I tie it shut now. This is an area where I'm now burying a tremendous number of water-wise container gardens. That's an old sculpture I made ages ago from various dumpster treasures. It's filled with blue water. Sometimes it's clear. This is a propagation area. I'm burying all these containers over here. These are almost all going to end up being water-wise container gardens, which is now pretty much the central tenet of how I garden because of the dramatic reduction in water use. Here's a rose I bred a long time ago. My wonderful barbecue grill where I've had friends with parties. There's my morning shower water heater. Put a 1-gallon jug of Arizona iced tea painted black, a gallon of water, and I can get a nice toasty shower. And I just simply stand in this tray here, catch the water after I'm through, and then I can dump that. Right now I'm dumping it mostly on the sunflowers. So a gallon of water a day to shower, and it's solar heated. And again, it's the components are from the trash, which is pretty much a given around here. Hey, Mr. Rooster. There's my top bar hive, which unfortunately has been empty of bees for over a year. Another view of the pond. I use the water hyacinths to process the water and pull out the excess ones, throw it in the chicken path, and the chickens just come over here and scarf them down as a vital green in their diet. What you saying, big guy? You're a good rooster, Mr. Rooster. You're a good rooster. Thank you for not crowing. And lastly, this is an edible cactus, Opuntia cochlinifera. It has no thorns. You can eat them raw, break them right off the plant, munch on them. Super nutritious. Takes extreme drought, takes the summer rains, and that's pretty much it. We're back where we started. Oh, wait a minute, one more thing. Here's Confederate jasmine in full bloom on the arch over my doorway. This grew up in the courtyard of my high school, Robinson High, so I always associate that wonderful smell with the courtyard, except now it's not bittersweet, because back then I was your classic young, neurotic, depressed teenager. And it's nice to smell that smell and have it be devoid of that sad element. Things are doing so well this year because we had, despite the freeze damage, we had a wonderful wet El Nino winter. Hope you enjoyed this. Bye.